This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome, everybody, to the X&C Podcast. We're back. There is so much to talk about. We don't even have time to screw around, Mag. We just have to get into it. How are you?
Yep. Oh, I'm fantastic. And G.I. Joe's already ready to rock, man. He's in the chat. He's saying, get your Toblerones ready. I've already eaten 3 pounds of them since Christmas. I'm ready to rock. Let's get into the show, man. We got some things to talk about tonight. It's an exciting start to the year, I got to say.
It has been. I watched your weekend update, your Mag show thing video today, and you were high clipping it through the news, and some of that stuff we're going to cover today. Real quick, I know you were making fun of me for playing Fallout 76, saying you got a therapist on the line for me, but I was also playing a Jump Space with Game Seeker, which is
cool.
It's exclusive to Xbox for some reason. They don't have a PlayStation version. But it's supposed to be like Sea of Thieves in space, and you could play 1 to 4 players, and you kind of have to put out fires in your ship and grab stuff, and you get out on the ship by hitting the vapor lock or whatever, and you fly around, and you can shoot on a turret. Like if you're in the Millennium Falcon, you can get on the turret and shoot while your buddy's flying, and then you get out and jetpack onto locations. It's pretty cool, and then I kind of ran into some of its flaws. You know, about 6-8 hours in, you're just fighting little mechs and little tiny robots over and over. And I know it's going to ramp up, but the difficulty curve's crazy. But I'm glad I've been playing it. So I've been doing that. What have you been up to?
Busy, man, doing a lot of stuff. Been playing a lot of games, doing all that. And I actually, Friday on Friday Night Live that I do my live stream for gaming. And played another another 2.5 hours. I did another 4.5-hour show on Friday night, and played. The community is loving it. I'm telling you right now, they're absolutely loving it. I've been playing Avatar, the Frontiers of Pandora expansion, the Fire and Ash expansion, based on the movie or whatever, and the expansion's called From the Ashes, right? So, anyways, I put a poll up earlier, and I said, okay, guys, what do you want me to play on Friday for Friday Night Live and this and that? And the overwhelming response out of all the different games I put in there, the overwhelming response was still of Avatar From the Ashes. People are loving it. So it's a lot of fun. It's great. And funny enough, a lot of people in the chat that night were even saying, you know what, I'm sold. I'm going to go buy this. And a lot of them bought it while I was on the air. They're like, just bought it.
Are you getting commission on that?
No, I'm not. I'm getting no commission from it, ladies and gentlemen. None, zero. However, it would have been nice. But no. A lot of people bought it while they were watching me play. So this thing has been gaining some steam. I love it. And then I told everybody, I'm like, listen, on top of all this, now that you're seeing Avatar, you got it for a cheap price. The expansion is only like $20 or $25, whatever. And even that's really, really good. Really high in the less explory than the base game, and a hell of a lot more action. So it's really, really good. But on top of that, I said, listen, guys, if you like this, if you're on Xbox, for example, never mind, I mean, you could just buy it, but I'm just saying, if you're on Xbox right now, this month, they launched the other gem that was criminally overlooked by a lot of people. Star Wars Outlaws is in Game Pass this month. So I'm like,
I saw half the hate and half the praise.
Right. And so like it's there. It's there on Game Pass. If you want to give it a shot and you already have Game Pass, you could do that, or you could buy it. I mean, I think it's pretty cheap right now too, like something like $20 or something like that, and you could buy it. And it's a stellar game. And it's great. I even saw a lot of feedback in the chat about that too. They're like, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws is criminally overlooked. It had a bad launch. Let's face it. It had a bad launch. Yeah. But once they ironed all that stuff out, you know how Ubisoft is. Once they iron it all out, they have a stellar game there. But the guts of the game were fantastic. So anyways, that's what I've been playing. Little COD Zombies with my wife and my son. We're trying to get that Easter egg, which is a pain in the neck. But either way, we're doing that too. And then making videos, man. Making videos, having a good time, getting ready for this exciting year that we got ahead of us, man. We're going to have Developer Direct in a couple of weeks. We have, I'm sure Sony's going to be doing some of those state of plays at some point. Who knows when? Nintendo Directs are going to be coming up too. We got the Summer Games Fest, the 25th anniversary we're going to talk about tonight. It's crazy, man. This is a hell of a year. And on top of that, on top of all those shows, we are going to be peppered with AAA bangers all year long.
And AA bangers, which are even better. A lot of people have been talking about the Developer Direct, and we'll get into that in the show. There's a lot of people that are really convinced personally, like their own hunch, that Xbox has another Developer Direct, which is weird that this was so light. But I want to talk about Ubisoft, since you were talking about Avatar and Star Wars Outlaws. Of course, people who haven't played games sure have a lot to say about don't touch that game, it's trash, and you know, don't play it. I hear a lot of that from people who didn't play Outlaws after it was patched, or didn't bother to play Avatar. Even at launch was pretty good, but right now, Ubisoft, I almost said Obsidian. Ubisoft is working on maybe coming out this year, a Division 1 remaster. And not only are they doing a remaster, but they're letting you customize the experience to
say that again? Hold on a second. Customize how?
Somebody showed a gameplay clip of them where it was like one shot, one kill, where you could customize the damage output to be realistic. So if you shoot them in the head from like a half a block away, they're down. You know, you're not knocking down like 3 health bars out of 4. So yeah, they were, they've really kind of working on having a reimagining, and they've also greenlit Division 3. And I know that people might say, oh, he's talking about Division. I'll just kind of tune this out for a second. But Division 2 was fantastic. And
I like them both.
Don't count out Ubisoft to surprise you. I don't know. I think they're kind of getting things in a good order right now. So
they go through waves. Ubisoft goes through waves. And, you know, if I went back when I was first doing YouTube guesting on other people's shows like 5 years ago, per se, Ubisoft was practically on top of the world at that point. And a lot of people were saying they're my favorite developers, whatever. Developers, anyways. But the thing is, they go through a dip, they come up again. They go through a dip, they seem to come up again. But they seem to be on that upswing again. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for gamers because, listen, you're not forced to buy the games if you don't want to. That's totally fine. But you know, the option is there, and especially for like some quality, like you're also going to be getting 2 remasters, 3 actually, technically, if you want to say that. You've got the Division Definitive Edition. We've got Prince of Persia: Sands of Time coming now, finally, after a couple of years, because they scrapped it, right? And then they started over again.
Yeah, and they still haven't said the release date, but it's on the way. Okay.
It's on the way.
And then I was going to ask you about the next one.
Yes. Yeah, we've got Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. In my opinion, the second best Assassin's Creed ever made. My first is still Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but the number 2, right closely behind it, it wins by a nose. But Assassin's Creed Black Flag, it's called Resynced for anybody who didn't know. That's what the remake is called. And I am oh my god, I am looking.
It's like almost confirmed, right, Mag? Like it's all they have to do is just say it. Is it that what it's at this
done.
point?
The game is. Yeah, the game is
where
done.
and when? Like we were hoping we would see this game by like February or March, and we still haven't heard a word officially from Ubisoft.
Right.
Like what are they waiting on to make this announcement, or is it coming at the end of the year?
I think we both suspected at one point that it was going to drop in January. That was some word that was going around, maybe February, but now we haven't heard a word about it. But you know what? All it takes is a tweet these days. You know what I mean? It takes a tweet and a YouTube video or a YouTube trailer, and it's done. And it's out there. Marketing. They could drop that. Right. I mean, they could drop that tomorrow morning, and then there you go. They could say, oh, by the way, it's coming, whatever, February 11th, or you know what I mean? So they can actually do that, and it wouldn't take long. And that would pick up very quickly because for a lot of people, Assassin's Creed Black Flag is one of their favorite Assassin's Creeds ever made. It certainly stands in the pantheon of one of the possibly the top 3 best Assassin's Creeds if you go through all the years that we've been playing those games. For a lot of people, that's in their either their first or second choice for best games, right? Yeah. So it won't take long. Sands of Time, that's a little bit like kind of like a Captain America, a man at a time situation, because a lot of people who played that probably have a lot of responsibilities and gray in their beard, right? So a new generation of people wouldn't even know what the heck that means. But that game, when it came out, that was a force to be reckoned with. That was a huge game. Sands of Time was a monster game. They even made the movie with what's his face there,
the
guy from
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, they did the Sands of Time movie because the game was so popular. Right, so I'm excited for it, man. I'm really excited for it. So yeah, that's 3 remakes in 1 year. Plus they got the new stuff coming out. Assassin's Creed Hex is being worked on for possibly 27, right? Division 3, who knows how long that'll probably be a next generation game.
So no new Assassin's Creed this year. They're going to have to wait a whole year from Shadows. So maybe Hex is the witches game. That's what you and I call it, Assassin's Creed Witches. Burn them anyway. And we're looking forward to that, right?
Burn them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that big time. What a great premise for a game. They said it's also going to be the darkest and borderline like a horror game, which I'm all for. Like, I mean, dude, I'm a cuck for that kind of stuff. Like, you give me that, you know what I mean? You give me like some Southern witches in New Orleans and Louisiana. I'm sold, baby. I'm all there.
Yeah, I fear that the diehard fans will get mad that they're changing up the formula so much. But I always say to the Assassin's Creed fans, if you want classic Assassin's Creed, go back and play the old ones, and you never will because you don't want to play the really old ones. But yeah, we've got some interesting stuff to just kind of warm up as we get into the topics, because we're going to race through a bunch of news that dropped this past few days before X&C. I've noticed a lot, and maybe it's because my algorithm is pointing me towards Bethesda, Starfield, Fallout stuff, mostly Fallout and Starfield. And Elder Scrolls. Yeah, there is massive... My friend Zocker87 always says, before I get into this, he always says, here I was just sitting here all peaceful, people talking smack, right?
Yeah.
Starfield is literally sitting there all peaceful, hidden under a wool blanket, being worked on for its 2.0 moment. And Elder Scrolls is quietly being worked on. They haven't said when it's coming out. And Fallout is having this really great moment right now. The TV show's doing fantastic. It's #1 in the US on Amazon Prime. The show is well loved. I've kept up with every episode, and it's just the attention to detail. And then you've got Chris Avellone, the former developer across Fallout 2 in 1999 and Fallout New Vegas in 2010. Wrote this thread on Twitter, on social media, and said that Bethesda doesn't care about Fallout and doesn't pay attention to the fine details. He said they don't know how to do speech checks, and he kind of said, there are things with the TV show that he doesn't like, and he's a fellow creator of the franchise, so he can give his opinion. But I'm seeing a lot of people post lately, I don't like Starfield because of this. I can't believe Starfield had this and didn't have this. Elder Scrolls was only good when it was Skyrim, and Fallout was only good when it was Fallout 1 and 2. There's just revisionist history where people are talking about how Fallout 3 was an okay game, which is crazy because everyone has been like worshiping at the altar of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas for a long time. And also, it's like, I swear, just like 2 weeks ago or maybe a week ago when the show came back on the air, all of a sudden people are pretending like Fallout ain't it. And Fallout 4, which is an 87, I think it's like an 88 on OpenCritic, they act like that's not an absolutely fantastic game. It perplexes me. I just see a lot of people who are talking about going back to Fallout 4, playing Fallout 76. That's a whole other thing I'll have to get into another day. But I don't know why there is this... Why aren't we talking about games now? It's so weird. Like, they're hashing back old games that have been out and have had their time. They're the way they are. And now there's this like shift in the opinion. And I'll have to look at the chat because I'm going to be done with this conversation. I don't even want to drag Meg in it. It's kind of pointless. So I just wanted to make my rant that I don't know where this revisionist history comes, that Fallout and Bethesda are not good developers when they've made a couple of mistakes, but their games that are out are fantastic. But I don't know. Yeah, Cinceral J says, you know why it's tax season? It's Xbox tax season. I don't, and I've always told you guys I don't subscribe to the Xbox tax very much at all. And hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the show. But by the way, we're live. This is YouTube and XSC Podcasts, and this is Mag over here, and I'm Colteastwood. We're gonna bang in. We're just gonna drive through like driving through a horde of zombies on some excellent topics and news, release things for games, a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, I just think there's people just feel like it's time to just dogpile on Bethesda and Fallout while and we'll talk about why they are making a lot of stuff. Maybe they're just trying to make sure the ship is righted in the right direction. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I gotta say, Meg, I want you to give us a short report. There's a couple of GTA 6 news reports, one from Jason Schreier and one from PlayStation themselves on GTA 6, and you've been covering it, and tell the good people what's going on with our favorite game of 2026.
Well, I'm glad, by the way, you got your Fallout therapy out of your system now. So, you know, I mean, you could have saved it for your therapist, but that's fine because we all know that Colteastwood has a serious illness when it comes to Fallout, ladies and gentlemen. He just can't let it go. But either way, just I digress. However, let's get into. Oh, by the way, I'd just like to point out that Paris is in the chat, and he said Xbox is dead again. It's unbelievable. It dies weekly. It's like Solomon Grundy from like the Superman comics. It just keeps coming back with a tombstone around its neck. But either way, it doesn't matter. Point is GTA 6. Let's talk about that. So there was that whole thing with the whole Jason Schreier thing. I covered that where he was talking about it on a podcast, and he spoke to some people who said they weren't sure. Now, here's the thing. He never actually said it's delayed, but you know how the internet is. The internet is full of morons. They don't listen. They don't read. They take things out of context. They read the title, and then they move on without actually reading it and then commenting and saying things. And then it got twisted. Like, you remember the game we used to play as kids called Broken Telephone? Where like everybody's in a circle, and then you say like Xbox is alive and well, and then all of a sudden, by the time you get around the circle, it's Xbox is dead, right? So it's the same thing here. It's like the internet has basically become a global broken telephone. He never actually said it's delayed. He said he spoke to some people that said it wasn't content complete, and whatever, and they were working on it. And he says he thought they would be at the bug fixing stage right now. He's not sure if they are. He spoke to some people that work there that said they're not 100% sure if the game was going to be ready or not. But that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that really doesn't mean much. It just means you never know. And he did point out something interesting where he said, well, the actual fiscal year ends for 2026, ends in March of 2027. So technically, he's like, if they decide to, let's just say for argument's sake, they decide to delay it 2 months, into January or February or whatever, it would not affect the stockholders, of which I know several. Right, it wouldn't affect them, and that's what that was their number one thing that they were worried about. So I'm saying that's all he said. He didn't say anything about that. Everybody else twisted it into some other nonsense. He also talked about he got all these death threats and all this other stuff over the weekend, and absolutely ridiculous. You know how the internet is. The internet is just being the internet, and people have lost their minds. Yeah, this is stupid. They've lost their minds, and so that's all he said. He presented that. He goes, well, you know, if they decided to delay a month or two, it actually wouldn't affect their stock, even though that whole news story got out. It did actually lower their stock temporarily. However, that's good for investors too, because what investors are going to do is that when they see the stock drop, they'll go buy more for cheaper, and then when it shoots up through the roof again, when the game comes to their final release trailer and launch, that stock's going to go through the roof. They're going to make a ton of money. So at the end of the day, that's what ended up with that story. So there was that. And then now you've got people like saying, oh, no, you know, they're finally coming around and saying, no, he didn't say this, he didn't say that, and whatever. Some people, then they talked about how the people got fired from Rockstar because they were actually leaking information about the game. They finally got caught. Those people got fired as well. So there's all of this, like it's a whole bunch of drama going on.
So it wasn't just a union labor issue. It was also leaking stuff. There was a whole bunch of mess.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of other stuff in there as well. Like that was a whole other thing. The whole labor union thing was going on. That's a whole other ball of wax that we're not here to talk about today, but we already talked about that. We covered that. And the other thing is, at this point, I would expect and suspect. I don't have any concrete evidence of this. However, my suspicions is that we will not hear about GTA 6 for a very long time. And what I mean by that is that we're probably not going to hear about it till the summer. I think they're going to go, because of all the drama around it or whatever, I think they're just going to lock down, and that's it. Nothing's going to get out. No information's going to squeak out. No more behind-the-scenes drama. They don't want this stuff. You know that people, especially investors, start getting, they start getting a little bit, skittish when that stuff starts to happen, right? And we saw what happened on the weekend when the stock dropped. Or just before the weekend, the stock dropped. And as a result of that, you don't want skittish investors. Now, there will be no chance that there'll be any shortage of investors. However, you don't want that kind of news out there. What you want is positive news out in the world, right? You don't want this negative. So my guess is Rockstar, or it's not Rockstar, well, Rockstar, but Take-Two is going to lock them down and just say, that's it. No more info in or out. Hello, goodbye, no anything. So my suspicion is from now until probably June, we're not going to hear a damn thing. No trailers, no talks, no developer, whatever, pictures, nothing. and I think they're just going to get real quiet. So, anyways, that's the news. It's a lot to take in, but that's what happened over the last 3 days,
a long time to wait
dude.
for, like actual gameplay. I know there was sprinkled gameplay, like half of that trailer was gameplay, but to us it wasn't. There wasn't a lot like that would be in perspective of a gameplay person. But one of the other news pieces that broke was that PlayStation was treating Grand Theft Auto 6 like an exclusive, meaning they're going to market the crap out of it. They are leaning on it to sell their consoles. They are probably planning to have some timed exclusive monetization package like they do with all their with Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto that they've done in the past. But a lot of fanboys were taking this as PlayStation's treating it like an exclusive. But we already know that Xbox has ramped up production of series consoles in Vietnam so that they can be ready for the outpouring of actual consoles of Xboxes being sold, because the biggest game is not available on Xbox One. So, yeah, that's kind of where that's sitting with Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly. Well, that actually works out for both companies. But he wasn't wrong. As I had we talked about it on this very show 2 years ago, that I said that Sony has the marketing rights for the game. That's when I knew that they had locked up the contract for that. We talked about it here, and that was before I had my YouTube channel. So I didn't even make a video about it, because it was well before I even started my channel. So that being the case, yes, they did. Sony did lock up the marketing deal with them. They had worked out and ironed out all the details, and part of that is going to be not only just the commercials for the game, whether it's on TV, whether it's on YouTube, it's going to have the PlayStation, whatever logo slapped on it and all that stuff, and then on top of that, bundles, hardware bundles with the software, that's also coming. Now, in terms of Xbox, I'll get back to the Sony thing in a minute, but in terms of Xbox, yes, they will sell many more consoles, possibly into the millions, possibly. I'm not saying for sure, but I could say certainly I think 1 million or more consoles will move because of GTA 6, because as we had discussed before, there's about 12 to 15 million people still logging into Xbox Ones, right? And so, and that being the case, a lot of people who have libraries, which by the way I would consider to be probably older gamers, and I'll explain why in a moment, is that a lot of those people are going to be upgrading to get not only just that, also Modern Warfare 4. Because Modern Warfare 4, as we discussed last week, is also a current gen only game. And you would imagine a lot of casuals do what? Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, right? Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Madden. Fill in the blanks for your top three casual games out there.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are going to be upgrading on Xbox who want to keep their libraries. If you got an Xbox One and you have a bunch of games on it, they're not going to say, well, I'll just go buy a PS5. Some might, if the price is right or whatever, but a lot of people would want to stay within their ecosystem. Microsoft knows that. They will sell a ton of consoles as a result. However, on the other side of the fence, Sony absolutely is treating it like an exclusive. Why? It's pretty obvious, because the majority of those sales are going to happen there. You have only two choices for GTA 6, Sony and Microsoft. There's no PC, at least right yet, and there's no Switch. So you only got two choices. If you look at like the statistics of all those third-party games, like look at Black Ops 6. We don't have the numbers for Black Ops 7. But Black Ops 6, for example, sold 84% of it were sold on PlayStation. I would and that was when it was available for Xbox. I know it was Game Pass. I get all that. And it was available for PC. However, this will just be purchased. I think that number might even be a little bit higher for this. As a result of that, and Sony's got this marketing deal, which probably wasn't cheap. They're going to treat it like an exclusive. They're not going to dump like a Wolverine 4 days before. You know what I mean? And they're going to actually treat it like, okay, because they're going to sell millions of consoles, I think, between September and December for three reasons. Modern Warfare, which is current gen only, Wolverine, GTA 6. Yeah. And as a result of that, they're going to space them out accordingly. Even though Microsoft owns Modern Warfare 4, Sony's also going to treat that as one of theirs, considering the majority of the sales are on that platform. So as a result of that, this is just a suspicion, I think they're going to drop Wolverine in September. Microsoft is going to drop Modern Warfare in mid-October, not November this year. I think it'll be mid-October, and then that leaves enough space for GTA 6 on November 21st. That's my guess.
Yeah. No,
Guerrilla Tactics, absolutely. Sorry, I gotta address this. He says, do kids under 18 care about GTA? Every kid I know, all my son's friends and all my daughter's friends play GTA Online.
Yeah.
And they are waiting for this game, regardless of the fact that it's considered a rated M. Who gives a crap?
I mean, yeah,
They're all
where
playing
were
Call of
you?
Duty and stuff anyway.
Every Grand Theft Auto that's ever come out, you know, the kids were finding a way to get a hold of that game.
Yeah.
And
they
I
grew
remember...
up, my kids grew up with GTA Online.
I remember
You know what I mean?
when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out 12 years ago. I was the squeakers. That squeakers was the thing. That was the word we used online. It was a fairly new term, I think, around that decade. But there were so many young prepubescent kids on the microphone on GTA Online when that game launched in 2013. So yeah, there are kids who are going to play Grand Theft Auto. But I can see where Guerrilla's coming from. Do kids under 18 care about open world action adventure games? I think
they do.
Grand Theft Auto's kind of
my
different.
son and all his friends play GTA Online all the time. He's 13. My daughter plays GTA Online. She's 10. And I mean, it's not like really gory or whatever, like the GTA Online. It's just kind of, you know, fun and goofy stuff or whatever. Yeah, okay, there's some mature stuff in there, but it's not crazy. But all their friends are playing it. All the YouTubers, you go to watch those GTA Online YouTubers, a lot of them are kids or like, you know, around those ages. You know what I mean? Like even in that thing. So it doesn't matter when it came out, because when that game came out, my son was just born. Right? So he didn't even know.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't know what it was. However,
yeah,
being exposed to YouTube and other gamers or whatever else, it became a global phenomenon. It absolutely. And I see you. Where is he? Blind King, I saw you. I see you. He says kids don't care about GTA. They absolutely do. And they make billions of dollars off of it. They have made I know, and then someone else actually in the chat said it was overhyped. Maybe, fair enough. You're not wrong. I think it's a little overhyped. But you know, the thing is, at the end of the day, one game made $10 billion. One game made $10 billion. Allow me to repeat that for everybody in the very, very back of the auditorium. One game made $10 billion. This is not a game anymore. This is a force of nature. And this new one, with our growing social media platforms that are even bigger now than they were 12 years ago, this is going to be the biggest entertainment event in modern history. Absolutely, without question.
And I think that Grand Theft Auto 6 will make its development money back in the first week. It's going to be huge. And I've seen some people say, man, you know, everyone's talking about the details and the delay and the possible, you know, crunch and everything. And I've seen people say, man, I hope this game flops. It's like, no, you need
it will
something
not
like
flop.
this to be really good. Paris in the chat says, Meg, you forgot about Gears E-Day. When will that come out? If you're talking about October for the next Call of Duty, but I have a feeling
I have no idea.
Gears E-Day is probably going to come out in September, like they did with the remaster. If I remember, I think it was August or September. September was
it August? Yeah,
I think September was the release date of Grand Theft Auto, Gears 5. I don't really remember, not that it matters, but Microsoft knows that Grand Theft Auto is supposed to come out in mid-November. And so I think they want to give their games a 1-month berth. So they have plenty of room. I just have a feeling that when you say Wolverine, that Gears E-Day and Wolverine are going to release fairly close to each other, because neither one will announce their date. What's that?
Yeah. I think those two can kind of coexist together. I know I've talked about in the past where even if they're two different genres of a video game and they're two different styles completely, I still felt that, you know what? It doesn't matter if they're two different styles. And I'm like, well, one's a shooter, one's an adventure game. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. The thing is, people only have a limited amount of money and a limited amount of attention that they could give towards a product. So if people start leaning towards Wolverine, which is a monster IP, that's a huge IP, especially coming off of a $2 billion Deadpool Wolverine movie. Yeah. And, of course, we're heading into Doomsday. That's ramping up. Wolverine is in that film, by the way. For anybody who didn't know, Deadpool is making an appearance as well. So that being the case, Risk It. Can you knock it off? I'm trying to talk, and all I see is my name highlighted. It's Risk It. Crawl back into that kangaroo sack, and then I'll get back to you in a minute. Anyways, the thing is, I still think that they can exist in the same
from
month.
you. The Australian racism.
How's that racism? Kangaroo racism.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? Broke Boy, it was on the news, for crying out loud, about Wolverine and Deadpool. Anyways, the point is, I think that those two can coexist. I mean, as long as you don't launch them in the same weekend. I think if you launch, let's say, I don't know, Gears in the last week of like August, like they did with Reloaded. I think it was the last week of August going into the Labor Day weekend, was it not?
Yeah,
Some of the chat help us out.
Reloaded flopped, didn't do very well, and I still haven't played it beyond 2 seconds. But the other thing they have to consider is Gears E-Day will probably land on PlayStation 5 as well, so they have to worry about, they don't want to cut out the legs of the sales for that. I'm going to get into these games because Xbox Developer Direct was announced Wednesday, like 2 days after we did X&C. So this news is fairly stale by internet standards. So we're going to like race through this. But Xbox Developer Direct, Matt Booty said just 3 weeks ago, I'm going to paraphrase from memory, he said, we have more games for the show than we have time for in the show, or something like that. We have more games coming in 2026 than we have time for in the show. And I had heard, I don't have a source per se, but somebody told me they heard something from someone that was pretty amazing leak, that they had 6 games, possibly trying to shoehorn a 7th game. And we had looked back at Developer Direct, and they'd had 4 games of the 5th secret, and then 4 games of the 5th secret or whatever a couple of times, or maybe it was 3 with the 4th secret. But anyway, they had averaged at about 4, sometimes 5 games, and they came out with this announcement with 3, and I was like, what the shunk is that? Like 3 games? What are you doing here? You literally have the most, and Matt Booty's other, and everyone's gonna say, why do you trust the leadership or the executives when they say anything? How can you trust them? It really makes you wonder, right? The other quote that Matt Booty said in that same interview, which is mid-December, 3 weeks before the Developer Direct was announced, he said, we have a stellar, I think it was a stellar 2026, very, very, I can't remember what the quote was, but he really hyped how many games they have coming. And we already know about Gears E-Day, Fable, Forza Horizon 6, Halo Campaign Evolved, and we know we have another Call of Duty game. So you start filling in the blanks, and you think, oh, they should have a pretty packed Developer Direct. And the issue, you and I talked about Developer Direct last Monday, and we said they're probably not going to show Halo Campaign Evolved at Developer Direct because we've already seen 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay across different outlets. So there's really no reason for it to be there, right? And it's probably coming out at the end of the year, so it doesn't need to be at the Direct. You can actually show nothing more of Halo Campaign Evolved, and
they showed a lot.
Yeah, you're done, right?
Like they showed a lot. What are you going to show? More of the, you know what I mean? Like they showed like almost a whole level there. Well, not a whole level, but a chunk
and you already
of
know what the game is. Like we've already played the entire game. Most people already
know.
Yeah,
right. That would have been a waste of valuable time for them to show it again. I think they will talk about it. Obviously, I think they'll do maybe another, some promo stuff during the Summer Games Fest. Maybe that I could see that. But other than that, I don't see them actually going through more, more Halo. And that made sense. Now I got to say, and this is an absolute shock to me, I can tell you with absolute certainty, I had no idea that Fable was going to be shown at the Developer Direct. I was more shocked than I was completely shocked. I'm like, well, the fact that they even said, if you actually look at what Playground said, and I did a video about it, and I read their whole, the whole, spiel that they gave about it, and they did say that we're going to be doing a deep dive, and I'm like, those are keywords, ladies and gentlemen. When you say the word deep dive, that would lead me to believe that this game is coming out this year, and so I was completely floored by that. And of course, the community had to come out in full force, as they always do. And they're like, Mag, you said you'd eat broken glass if it comes out in 26. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. I will bend the knee live on this show, even on my show. I will bend the knee if it comes out this year. But you know what? Just like Bob Ross did with his paintings, it's a happy accident. I am so glad that I'm wrong because I want to play Fable this year. And the thing is, as Paris in the chat had said, where? This is the other thing. Where do you put all these games? Summer is traditionally a quieter time. You don't want to be dropping something like Fable in like the middle of July while everybody's out suntanning and surfing or doing whatever the hell people do in the summer. You know what I mean? So there's all of that. So like, where do you put it? I can't see them dropping in the first half of 26 because we already got Forza Horizon coming out in the spring. So that's a big deal right there. You're not going to drop it in March. Like I don't think that would be enough time. I think that at that time, like, where the hell do you put it?
Well, I mean, I have a feeling
what I mean?
that Fable is coming out sooner rather than later, and I would love to not be wrong because I would rather be, I want the best thing to happen. But Tuesday night I made this video about Xbox's 25th anniversary, Blizzard and Bethesda, and we're going to get into that after the Dev Direct talk. And shout out to over 500 people who watch the show. Hit the like button. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, and check out Mag's channel, who's also in the description if you want to get some of Mag's news and without my face on there. You can do that. We appreciate you. Fable, yeah. So I made that video the day before the Developer Direct announcement came, and I said in the video, it was one of those videos where I didn't write a script out. I turned the camera on with a bullet point list of things that Jez Corden had written in his article and sourced him. And I said, I have a feeling that Fable is actually not delayed at all. I think it actually might come out earlier than the end of 2026. Like maybe it's, early fall. When I say fall, sorry. I try not to say that to an international audience. You guys are awesome. Earlier in the back half of the year, or maybe even late in the first, before the middle of the year.
Maybe you drop it in June. Why don't you not drop it in June? If you're dropping Forza in May, then I would. Why not drop it in June? While the hype of the Summer Games Fest is happening and all that jazz, you're staying out of the fall, which is another pain in the ass for these guys because
February, March is packed.
February, March is packed. Okay,
why not drop it in April? I mean, I don't know. Well, let me shoehorn this in because I don't know, and I've said many times in videos and on this podcast that Craig Duncan said in February. Let's just say exactly 1 year ago. In February, he said a year ago, we're not going to make 2025. We're going to need more time. And I thought, if you can't hit 10 months, you must need more time than just a delay.
That's why I thought it wasn't going to hit 26, dude.
I know, and I was with you for a long time because we've been around all of you guys in the chat, you guys are awesome. You've all watched delays happen, right? Delays are usually like, hey, we're supposed to be out in 3 to 6 months. We need a couple more months. That's usually what happens. And here the head of Xbox Game Studios is saying, we have 10 months to go, and we don't even think we're going to make it now. And so I thought, there's no way you're coming out early 2026. He must need way more time with that studio.
That's what I thought too. I thought, well, if they need that much time, then they need a lot more. And so to me, like I said, it was just an educated guess. I'm like, my guess is with all the games coming out in 26, just give it its own time. I thought 100% it was coming on 27. But like I said, it seems to be that I'm wrong. And that being the case, great. Better for me. I get to play it this year. I'd be totally happy with it. And if they dropped it in the first half of the year, even better. I think that would be even better. I mean, can you imagine that kind of this 2026 lineup? I go right from Resident Evil, which by the way comes out in 45 days, 3 hours and 18 minutes, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to have Resident Evil Requiem. Then I'm going to go into, then imagine going into Fable, then going into Forza, then going into Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight. I'm even going to play 007. It was gifted to me from the awesome community. So, you know what I mean? Like that, dude, what are we talking about here? That actually can carry me for the rest of 26. I don't even need anything after that. I'm like, that's the whole year, bro.
And when Playground says they're going to do a deep dive into Fable, that means they're going to show us the world, the game, how the actual, we don't know how the game works, the mechanics. So we've seen very little combat. We've never seen how the world or the semi-open world or the mechanics work. We don't know anything about Fable, and we're probably going to get an 8-minute deep dive, somewhere around there, of Fable. And I'm curious to see what's being added to it or what's been changed. If they do not show the male playable character at all, I will be so frustrated with them because they've had well over 3 years to take the pulse of the general audience and say they've always wanted to choose between a little boy and a little girl when you start out the game. If they shoehorn us into playing one character, I have this suspicion, according to what they usually do, is that female character you'll be able to change her skin from dark to light and change her hairstyle to make her look whatever culture or whatever nationality you want. You can make her white with blonde hair. Maybe you could turn the freckles down or up, or maybe you can make her, an African American character, or African in London, in England. I don't know what they're gonna do, but
I have no idea. We don't know anything about the mechanics.
They won't say a
what
word.
They showed us, which is fine. I'm actually okay with that too. Like, let them do the thing.
And
Maverick, you better knock that off, eh?
I'm okay if that female character has this great story, like Arthur Morgan or John Marston. You're playing as this character, and it's a really good story. But people from Fable expect to make their female or their male character and play the game. And their refusal to talk about if people have the choice, because gaming's all about, like, they always champion choice. And it doesn't matter. I'll play as the female character anyway. But I hope they show us what this game is going to be. I just have this feeling that there's going to be so many people who will cry incessantly about not having the choice to play as a male character, and they will go around with picket signs that they wrote with a Sharpie and say, "Don't play the game, the Fable, dead on arrival." I don't know. I just have that feeling.
As long as the game is good, I think it could cut through everything, but it's got to be good. And from what we saw, the brief moments that what we saw looked pretty cool. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely excited for it. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think it's going to be a beautiful looking game. Now, we have to touch on something because it did come up, and it's something I talked about actually this morning in my Mondays with Mag there, where I talked about release dates in terms of release cadence with multi-platform. And that's something that seems to be coming up a little bit more frequently, as someone had reported on VGC saying that he had heard on his podcast that Fable will arrive day one, multi-platform.
Oh, right.
However, he's still saying that as it stands, he says he doesn't have any concrete evidence, but he did hear from some people within the studio saying that they're not sure that they're going to be able to finish the PS5 version in time for Forza Horizon 6. So they're saying Fable will be ready because they had already intended on putting that on the PlayStation 5 well ahead of time. And then they had decided after the fact with Forza 6. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But weird. I don't know how that's going to work.
That's weird that Forza Horizon 6 doesn't have a PS5 port ready when they have worked on the game for like 4 years. When it's
I still think it's going to drop day and date. I mean, that's just, I think that would be financially, irresponsible, to be quite honest. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because they just released that report. They sold 5 million plus copies of Forza Horizon 5, a 3-year-old racing game.
You said 3 in your video, and I'm yelling at my phone. Mag, it's over 4 years old. Yeah, it was 2021.
4. Jesus, I keep forgetting.
5.
I'm losing track of years, dude. Dude, that's what happens when you get old.
It's 5 full years.
5 full years?
And it's going into its 6th year. It came out in December of 2021. So, wait, is that right? Yeah.
Magnum, stop it.
2025, four full years. 4 full years.
Okay,
that's
so 4 full years. The game still sold 5 million plus copies. Okay? So never mind the developers.
If they're not ready, they could turn around and sell it on PS5 and still make a good chunk of money.
They'll still make a lot of money. But do you think the bean counters who are actually calling the shots now are just going to be like, yeah, whatever? Because they haven't whatevered in the last year, have they?
I saw a clip of Reforged Gaming talking about how PlayStation doesn't prioritize their multi-platform releases the same way that Xbox would, which is true. Which is absolutely true. Yeah. And people are trying to criticize him and knock him down for this. But he said that PlayStation can't look at their development and say, is it worth our time to make a PC port when we could just get the game done and sell it right now on PS5? But that's not really how it works, Reforged, because PlayStation is more interested in saying, well, we can always use that port reimbursement on PC later, because right now our priority is we have to sell consoles, because PlayStation has to sell PS5s, because it is ingrained in their, when you always talk about you bring people to the store, PlayStation does an amazing job of bringing people to their ecosystem and making money off their box. Xbox loses $100 every time they sell an Xbox. That's why they jacked up the price $100 over a PS5. So I'm just going to give you a quick speech. It'll only take about 10 seconds. Xbox has to put their games on PlayStation because they can continue to make the same amount or more money by not leaning on the console, which is not going to work for them because they lose money. PlayStation has to make money off the PS5 because that number keeps slightly going up and there's no reason to deviate from that. So that's why, and they'll still put games on PC. So it's a win-win for everyone as long as you can wait. Let me get into a couple supers. You guys are awesome. Sith Lord, who's been a member for 38 months, says, hi guys, happy 25 years of Xbox. It's going to be a great year. I hope you guys have a great shows and content through the year ride. Ride that green wave, he says. Thank you, Sith. It's me, the broke boy. Yeah, good. He changed his name so now I could say it easier from what I used to. He said, thanks for the $2. He goes, The Hobbit is queued up, Colt. Just need the show to end. He ordered The Hobbit and Return of the King, the old 1977 cartoons, which I grew up on when I was a little kid. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
I own it on Blu-ray.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I used to watch them. My brothers and I would watch them.
The rotoscope ones, right?
No,
like the weird animation ones.
I've never seen the Lord of the Rings one. I've only seen The Hobbit and Return of the King, which are made by the people that made Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Rankin and Bass.
Oh, those ones. Okay, yeah. Okay,
they're more like anime style.
I own the weird rotoscope one, the really creepy one, where it's like it's animated, but they have like actual humans like sort of superimposed on top of it, and it is literally nightmare fuel.
It is.
Do not watch that under like any influence whatsoever. You will never sleep again. It is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen, but wonderful nonetheless.
That whole Return of the King that covers, or the whole Lord of the Rings that covers the first two movies. Yeah, they drew over actors for the whole thing, and then toward the last half of the movie, I've seen clips like what you're talking about. They ran out of budget, so they just like scribbled. They like scribbled silhouettes on everything, and yeah, it just looks pretty awful. But anyway,
like the riders of what's it called? The hell are they called?
Ring wraiths. Yeah.
The ring wraiths. The ring wraiths were like the scariest thing I've ever seen. Imagine watching that as a kid. And never mind the ones from the newer movies, from the Peter Jackson movies. Those rotoscoped ones are possibly the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
2 questions for you. Are you going? I think I've already asked you, but are you going to go watch the extended in the theater? Or are you good with that at home?
Probably not, because I own the Blu-ray Ultra HD ones.
Same.
Like the 4K Ultra HD editions, and I own all of them. All 6 of them, like the Lord of the Rings one and the Hobbit trilogy, all on 4K Ultra HD, and they're all the extended editions.
Yeah, I'm going to take my son and watch them.
I might go. I might go because I'm such a sucker for it, because it's still, there are great trilogies out there. There are amazing trilogies out there, but that might be the one that's the least. I mean, it's flawless. Let's just say it what it is. It's a flawless trilogy.
It is. If you keep looking back, how old it is. It's so old.
Dude, it looks like it came out yesterday.
I know, it's amazing.
Like it's unreal. Yeah, anyways.
There's 2 things. I'm going to write this in the timestamps for you guys. They're working on a Lord of the Rings open world game that is supposed to match the quality and phantasmalism of Portkeys' Harry Potter game. Hogwarts Legacy. One of our favorite games, right? Did you know that they're working on a new movie? I think Peter Jackson is involved, but Andy Serkis they're making a movie about the time between Smeagol getting the ring up until he was tortured by Sauron and Mordor and all that.
Yeah.
This is actually a thing, and Andy Serkis is going to put on the latex suit and go do the whole thing.
Yeah. He's actually directing it, from what I understand.
Okay, yeah, that's
it's called it's called The Hunt for Gollum. Yeah.
Is it going to be as good as the Gollum video game?
Oh, well, I would hope so. I mean, the Gollum video game is a stellar piece of video game history, man.
Hardy Shawnee freaking played the whole game. I'm like, what are you doing over here? Bit Fernaldi, thanks for the 2. He goes, YouTube won't let me type in the chat. What up, people? What the heck?
Why not?
Restart it. Yeah, and I don't know what's going on with the show buffering constantly, but I don't know. I've tried everything.
But it's funny, it buffered on my end too. It's not us. It's also YouTube, because I had on my 3rd monitor here. I pulled up the YouTube. Because for some reason, another thing that was happening tonight, which I don't understand why, but it seems like Discord seems to have darkened us a little bit, right? So I'm getting shadows, and I'm like, I don't have shadows on my channel, but for some reason when I come on Discord, it just messes up with the camera. So I'm like, whatever, man, it is what it's gonna be. So I even turned on my rope lighting on the back there, trying to lighten it up, and I'm like, I can't turn it higher. But either way,
You still look
There's
handsome.
something funky going on with the internet. So, and then anyways, on the third monitor over here, I looked at it and YouTube was buffering. So it's not you.
No, that's because
se.
it's because my my internet is amazing. But then when I run it might be OBS, but whatever. You guys don't even know the behind the curtain
Something
nonsense.
is off.
It's boring.
But something is off. But you know, by the way, I just like to point that out. Anybody in the chat, think about this for a second. Have you guys noticed, gals too? Have you guys noticed that YouTube has been acting funky? Twitter's been acting funky, Instagram, like all the social media stuff
Illuminati.
or whatever. Have you noticed it's been like acting weird, buffering, sometimes not loading? You load up YouTube, you're getting blank screens and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like, there's something going on. And it's definitely not our internet. My internet is ridiculous. It's grease lightning. And everything is hardwired. So there's no Wi-Fi. I'm not using Wi-Fi for any of this stuff. But there's something funky going on. And thank you, Blind King. I think he's right. He's like, it's AI collecting data. Yeah, I'm almost 100% certain.
It's the AI regime. I was getting 1,000 down, 30 up. 30 up is what does the show. And 30 up should be an uninterrupted 1440p stream, no problem. And it has been, but like a month ago, all of a sudden, every week, buffers like crazy. Andy Ackerman, thanks for the couple super chats here for $2 and $2. He says, Niners! And he wants to stress out Mag, but the Seahawks will also
it's not going to stress
destroy
me out.
the Niners,
it's going to be
and so are the Bills.
It's going to be the Buffalo Bills and the Rams in the Super Bowl. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
I like those other teams. I don't even like the Rams. I'm just telling you what's going to happen.
Okay. Well, write it down, and we'll see if you can get it right. He also says, Team Risk It, distract Mag all day. That's not nice. Andy Hart, Happy New Year's. He says, Happy New Year, going to be crazy 26 with the price hikes. Go Bills, strong win at the Jags. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, pretty wild game. It was a wild game. But anyways.
Yeah.
You know what? Lotus Esprit had something interesting in his super chat. I don't know how far down the list is, but see, something else is strange going on here.
Yeah. Oops. I went to the wrong thing. Yeah. He said that where's Lotus?
Lotus is there in yellow.
Yeah.
Lotus, where have you been, by the way?
Yeah. Lotus hasn't been around in a bit, but.
Yeah. You don't come to my channel. Like, what's the matter with you? You better have a good explanation. I'm not like, no. I'm not going to be the guy that be, oh, please come to my channel. Oh, please please hit the like button. It's like, no, get in here and show up tomorrow night, 8:45 Eastern Standard. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. Anyways, tell all your friends too. Anyway, sorry, Colt, carry on.
It's Broke Boy. Thank you for the 5. Says, you need to watch the anime Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. I've heard about that. Came out last year, tells the story of Helm's Deep, 200 years prior to the Two Towers movie.
I heard it wasn't that good. To be quite honest, it kind of it disappeared like a fart in the wind. I was really looking forward to it because it's an animated movie. But I'm like, War of the Rohirrim, I'm totally in on that. But anyways, apparently it wasn't that great. It just went.
Yeah, I'm a little iffy when it comes
like
to
Harry
anime.
Potter. Just Alohomora, and then it was gone.
Lotus Esprit, thank you so much for the 10. Yeah, it's good to see you back. They've been around. I see them on Red Wolf's podcast from time to time. So,
do you?
Yeah, it's been a while. They said, Colt, turn me on blue again. I made them a moderator. YouTube will not let me buy a membership for some reason. So I don't know. Yeah, it's
like
the AI regime.
I think everything. What it is they keep implementing new versions of of AI into everything. And as AI is learning, it's screwing everything up.
Yeah.
And so for like the last month, like I'm noticing the weirdest things. Like people are like, oh, this disappeared. This is here. This wasn't here. Now it's here. This is gone. What's here? I can't talk. I can't chat. I can't send a super chat. Then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you can. And like membership things getting all screwed up. I'm like, what are they doing?
I know.
But we know what they're doing. We know what they're doing.
Yeah, I saw a YouTuber that he has 3,000 subscribers. He's like, YouTube, why did you delete my channel? And it said that he talked about something violent and hateful. And he was talking about Assassin's Creed and the Templars. They deleted his channel. And an AI reviewer saw that video and said, nope, gone. So it took him like 2 business days to get reinstated. So yeah, that stuff's nasty and ridiculous. Okay,
it's getting silly now.
We got to get into this
Chef,
coverage.
What's up, buddy? Go.
Yeah, so Mag's like, we have to like have a good hard stopping point here. As we get into the 1 hour mark, I want to cover some of the Xbox's 25th anniversary. Jez Corden of Windows Central did a really great article about how Xbox is celebrating their 25th anniversary at the end of the year. Bethesda is celebrating their 40th this year,
Yes.
and Blizzard is celebrating the 35th. And so he got a whole bunch of inside baseball about a bunch of different games that are coming out. We're going to talk about them on a high clip nature. Of course, we have Halo, Gears, Forza, and Fable. We covered that. But I would also like to shoehorn, I bet you we're going to see some pretty cool Halo and Gears and Forza themed controllers and headsets, and maybe a themed console for Halo at the end of the year. I don't know how well those will do, but that'd be cool to see. But let's get into some of the things that Jez said. Number one, he said Fallout 3, according to his source, is not shadow dropping in March. I think it was March, at the end of the TV show season when all the weeks are done. He said that there's a countdown on the website. Everyone speculated. He is saying as early as today, he said, or late, that Fallout 3 Remaster is going to be a while. So I was really hoping that Fallout 3 Remaster would be ready sometime this year, because Virtual Studio has, I don't know, 2,500 employees or something. They've got multiple teams. And so if they just launched Oblivion Remaster almost a year ago, could they be ready with Fallout 3 from a different team? Since they supposedly been working on it for a while, maybe Fallout 3 Remaster is coming out in the next year, or I don't know, earlier. We'll see. The other thing he says is that Tim Kaine, who joined Obsidian Entertainment, Jez, just like me, is speculating that Tim Kaine is absolutely well, I can't use that word after saying speculating, but the speculation is that Tim Kaine is actually working on a Fallout game from Obsidian that will have full blessing of Bethesda. And a lot of people get really concerned, Mag, when they talk about Obsidian Entertainment. There's a section of people that really like their fun, quirky things that they make. And then there's another group goes, I like them when they were making Fallout New Vegas. So I understand that. But if you bring Tim Kaine in, and Todd Howard says, we'll just pretend, Todd Howard says, I want you guys to make a Fallout New Orleans. You're going to make your own Fallout thing. We're giving you the Starfield engine and a bunch of assets and our support. Make a Fallout game, but it's got to be what we would, put our blessing on. Because if Obsidian made a fun, bright, and cheerful, goofy, I'm exaggerating, but if Obsidian made their style of Fallout right now, it wouldn't resonate with people. But if you've got some of the leads like Todd Howard and other people like that saying, this is what Fallout, this is the style guide, that could be something really cool. But Ryan McCaffrey said, I can't believe that people think the Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out. It's not coming out for the next 3 years, and Fallout's not coming out for another 10 years, Fallout 5. And I'm like, we talked about this last week, Mag. Like, why is everyone pretending like we just got out of the global pandemic and people are just now returning to the offices? Like, for 2 years, people have been full time in the studios, and games are starting to come out at a higher release clip, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Thoughts, Mag, before I just keep going and can't breathe.
Oof, I don't know, man. It seems like a pretty, because everything is up in the air and nothing has been solidified or locked down. I think that's where the problem lies. And they've got so many of these titles that they're trying. It's almost like they're trying to juggle all these, spin all these plates at the same time. You're like, well, which one are you going to drop? You know what I mean? Like you don't know what's going to happen here. This Fallout 3 news, I think at this point, if it's not going to hit in the first half of 26, leave it till 27. And the reason why is because at that point, the second half of the year, which you've already discussed in the first half of this show, there's not a whole lot of room for it. Yeah. And at that, you're just sandwiching in a bunch of stuff in an area where you're not allowing anything to breathe. And because one company owns all this, they're not going to do that. They're not going to just dump it all in one thing. Now, the only possibility is that you could look at something like around the 25th anniversary of Xbox. Right now, I know that we talked about it. You just said it: the 40th anniversary, 35th anniversary, and the 25th anniversary all happening the same year. Yeah. Now, at that point, you have only two choices. You either have stuff ready for those anniversaries, or you do a celebration of all the stuff that you already have, and then you give everybody a glimpse of the future of what's going to come out beyond those anniversaries. That's your only two choices. And I just don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, like, do you see where would you, if they're working on new projects, they're not coming out this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know what's going on next year at this point. There's all kinds of games in there. I think that you want my honest opinion? I think they're biting off more than they could chew with some of the stuff.
It does sound like that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, it just seems like it's a little bit convoluted in terms of focus. And I'm like, guys, focus on what you're doing. Like, figure out what's going on. And it's only because we don't know what's going on. That's why we're talking like this.
Well, yeah, and I understand that.
They probably have a better idea of what's going on. We don't. And for us, it's very frustrating because we don't know.
So a big shift happened about a year ago where Microsoft said, we are going to concentrate on our sure things, our surefire franchises. So what that meant was killing off 2 potential new IPs at Blizzard and getting, Xbox has like 35 studios. So what they're doing now is they realize that Microsoft said that Fallout is their number 1 priority right now outside of Call of Duty and Minecraft. And so their number 1 like focus and priority for getting out new content. And they know that they need to strike while the iron's hot with Fallout. And what that means was bringing Tim Kaine in and having him work with Obsidian. Obsidian apparently has 4 projects in the works. One of them being Grounded 2. That is an ongoing thing. And then they have 3 other things. And I think one of them is probably a Fallout related project. And they've also fast-tracked and greenlit Fallout 5 from Bethesda Softworks, but they're supposed to be launching Elder Scrolls 6, and I will say within the next 12 to 18 months. And it drives me crazy that the rest of the world says there's no way that game's coming out in 4 years plus. I think it might be earlier, and if it isn't, then I'm like, oh, it got delayed. I'll wait 6 more months than the 18 months I expected. Maybe it is 2 years out. I don't care. That's fine. But I could be excited about the
possibility. There's plenty to do between now and then. I think it's just because, like I said, because we don't know, there's a level of frustration when you don't know exactly when things are happening, right? And we understand that. Now, the reason why a lot of people said, oh, it's going to be 10 years for this, 5 years for that, or whatever, because they're looking at the past pedigree. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at that space between Skyrim and Elder Scrolls 6. I mean, it's a whole bloody generation. My son wasn't even born yet when Skyrim came out, and now we're looking at a
15 years.
Sequel, of sorts or whatever in the series. It's been an entire generation, for crying out loud. Starfield, they talked about it for years or whatever, and they're like, oh, it was 20 years in the making. Yeah, we understand that not all of it was being developed for 20 years, but it was it was sort of like the brainchild for a very long period of time, and that being the case. But I think it's because of that.
That's another thing.
People will associate your past. It's just like in real life. People
you made
associate. Yeah, sorry.
You made another really good point that Starfield it took like 8 years to make Starfield. But Starfield was built from the ground up. The jump from Creation Engine for Fallout 4 to Creation Engine 2.0 for Starfield is a massive jump. So they built a game from scratch with thousands of planets. They built a procedural generation system, and they made an entire game that wasn't really Fallout or Skyrim in space. And on top of that, they were almost bankrupt. They were sold to Microsoft, and then they continued through a pandemic, a global pandemic, which affected 2 to 3 years of development. So 9 or 8 years kind of makes sense, but everyone puts that mathematical equation on Elder Scrolls, which started, I would say, in mid 2022. But everyone's saying, oh, they said the report was full production in 23, but Todd Howard had said otherwise in that interview with Lex Friedman in 2022.
When did they announce Elder Scrolls 6, though?
In 2018. They did nothing, Mag.
So like they slapped up the name on the screen and then didn't work on it for 4 years?
Because you know the player, the water temperature IQ, Starfield is an amazing game. It has a list of things that need to be fixed, but it's an awesome game. It's an awesome game. Is it the best game you've ever played? It's not even the best game I've ever played, but Starfield is awesome. And I've played a ton of it. Too much. But anyway, yeah, you were saying that, the thing that you said, because I had a counter to that. You said that, what were they doing? Yeah, 2018, they announced Elder Scrolls because in 2018, 2019, Bethesda needed to sell. They were in big trouble. Wolfenstein Youngblood, Redfall, Fallout 76 were games that they put out so that they could position themselves as, look how much money we're worth, because they wanted someone to buy them. They needed someone to buy them. And so Phil Spencer saw them when they were on the discount rack, because Wolfenstein Youngblood was a massive failure and did not make very much money for them at all on the Wolfenstein name. That was really bad. Plus, Wolfenstein 2, New Colossus, was fantastic. It didn't sell very well. So they're kind of in a bad spot. So what they did in 2018, just before Wolfenstein New Colossus came out, is they announced Elder Scrolls 6 to bolster up their presence as, look at us, we're great, come grab us. And so they were in a really bad spot. And they admitted that they announced it too early. And so, yes, the long answer to your question is, they did absolutely nothing with Elder Scrolls from 2018 all the way until 2022 and on. So,
and you wonder why people say things like, well, it won't come out for another decade or whatever. They're looking at the past behaviors, and that's what it is. It's just like in real life. People base your personality on your past behaviors of what you did before that, and then they sort of, make not an assumption, but they sort of make like a whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but they basically see that that's what your character is based on what you did before. Yeah. Oh, well, he did this, and this over all the many years. Therefore, now I'm going to categorize him as this. And that's what they've been doing. And as a result of that, and no one's talking about their quality. No one's talking about any of that stuff. They're talking about the sort of wishy-washy release cadences of their games. And as a result of that, why wouldn't someone do that? They see pattern recognition there. And so as a result of that, people are like, well, of course it's going to take 8,000 years for Fallout 5 or whatever based on that. I don't blame them.
Good point.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I wouldn't blame them for saying it. I said you have the right to say it, considering that. When you splashed that screen for Elder Scrolls 6, I was super excited. I was like, my head exploded. I was like, yes, let's go.
Right.
And then they didn't work on it actively for 4 years. Like I understand they were working on Starfield.
Like a game like Elder Scrolls 6 is supposed to take 5 to 6 years or more, right? That's probably what you'd expect way back before COVID,
5 to 7
right?
years for a AAA title, yeah.
So when they showed in 2018 at the Bethesda Con, when they showed whatever they call it, when they showed the that Elder Scrolls teaser, we're like, oh man, that's 5 or 6 years out. And then when you're talking 5 or 6 years and almost 5 years, they didn't do anything. Well, yeah. I mean,
that's all it's not a slight against them or anything like that.
One.
I'm just saying, based on that, it's no wonder people think a certain way about them. That's all it is. That's all I'm trying to say. So like now when they say like, oh yeah, it's coming, Elder Scrolls is coming next year, I'm like, it might. But you know what? How about this? How about we do this? How about we just play the 8,000 games that we already have in our backlogs? Why don't we play the 8,000 more games that are coming out this year and into next year, and then we'll worry about it when they actually announce a release date? How about that?
You mean I can play Fallout 4 again?
No, Colteastwood, you can play new games. There's a million of them out there.
Yeah,
at least Resident Evil. Yes, okay, I got a serious problem with I need therapy for Resident Evil, but the thing is, at least they got a new game coming out in 45 days, 2 hours, and 48 minutes.
Yeah,
okay?
I guess.
At least there's a new one coming out. I can say that. Instead of going back to games that came out 8 years ago.
Well, yeah, okay. Sorry.
I don't know, Colt.
I won't do
Colt,
it
and I don't know
anymore,
what they're
Dad.
going to do for this. I don't know what they're going to do for this anniversary thing either. I really don't know. I don't know what to expect. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll hear news throughout the year, but I'm happy. I'm happy with what's going on. I'm happy with what's coming out, and I'll worry about it when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, without any extra announcements, so we are already packed.
We're packed. How much more do we want?
The argument I just want to make is that the game has changed a little bit. right? Everyone's back at the studio, so at least a year, maybe even 2 years has been shaven off of what used to be the horrible long development that we've been enduring this generation since the PS5 and Xbox Series console came out, right? I just want to impress upon you guys that Microsoft has said that they're shifting their teams toward certain games. So, and I had an issue with this when they first announced it about 6 months ago, which to me sounds like we've got 35 studios. We're going to make sure priority goes on Call of Duty, Minecraft, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Halo, Gears.
Yeah, they're flagships. Yeah,
they're flagships because the days of putting out a South of Midnight or a Keeper are few and far between. When we talk about the Xbox Developer Direct, there's nothing to spoil, but there's a fourth game, and if you've been watching the news, you already know that Jez Corden has hinted, and there's actually footage of the game from 8 years ago. Yep. It's a game Double Fine's been working on for a long time, and they're finally ready to release it. They had a play test of it 8 years ago in 2017. It's a game called Kiln. You actually physically mold a pot. You go and you hold buttons and you mold a pot tall or short, and then it sprouts legs and arms and a sword, and you take them into battle and you fight with them. And I didn't play Keeper. I heard great things about it. In a very packed 2025, Keeper was not something that I had time to play. I know the brilliance of Double Fine, but Mag and I are sitting here going, just make Psychonauts 3. We don't
make Psychonauts 3. Cut the crap. I don't want to play as a pot. I've already played as a lighthouse, for crying out loud. Can we get Jack Black to just go make Psychonauts 3 and call it a life already?
Or make brutal.
God damn it.
We were talking off the air. I don't think we were talking about it on the air, were we? Was it off the air?
No. We were talking about it, dude. We have the perfect premise.
Brilliant.
I'm actually going to call him. I'm going to call Jack Black there and tell him, what's his name? Tim Schafer. I'm going to go talk to him and say,
all right, sell this idea to everybody. Sell this idea to him.
All right, this is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to do a Brutal Legend 2 with the actual Jack Black. Okay, I just call it because Tim Schafer looks like Jack Black, so I thought it was kind of funny. So what this is what I'm going to do. We're gonna pitch. Never mind walking clay pots. Okay, what's next?
We're gonna cancel Kiln.
Oh, here comes the the lamp on my night table. And it's gonna be walking around doing an adventure. The next is my pride cup.
Pause. Jacob Tupua says, "Can you redo the scene from Ghost while you're making your pot? Or you're making your clay pot?"
I'm doing it, and then I've got Patrick Swayze with no shirt on behind me, holding me in my gaming chair. Yeah. The next game is going to be my pride cup here with little legs. Look. There's the new game. Okay, listen.
I love it.
Here's the idea.
Go into battle, Mag. Go into battle. So tell them this game that we're going to force Double Fine to make. Yes.
Brutal Legend 2 with Jack Black, of course. However, what the game is going to be about is, now that, God rest his soul, we have lost Ozzy Osbourne. The point of the game,
Ozzy Osbourne was in the last game, for people that don't know. He was the god of rock or whatever. Okay,
the god of metal or whatever it was. Well, now the god of metal is going to be Rob Halford, who has taken the throne after Ozzy had passed away. And Rob Halford, the singer of Judas Priest, with his big white beard and the shaved head. And
I thought you wanted to do Kip Winger as the god of metal.
Colt, can you knock it off?
She's only 17.
Rob Halford, the singer of Judas Priest, in all his glory, in his leather and all the studs and the collar and the big white beard, and he's now the new god of metal. And he puts you on a quest to go take and rescue Ozzy's soul from the pits of hell. And it's going to be Jack Black and his army of other people are going to be going down there with the help of Lemmy from Motorhead as well. He's going to be in there somehow. And we're going to have to go to hell and get his soul back and bring it back. And then bring Ozzy's soul back up to the heavens, man. And he's gonna rock it out there. And that's our pitch for Brutal Legend 2. Way better than a walking clay pot. Okay? So can we please do that? And then while you're doing that, get those guys to start making Psychonauts 3. The game was up for Game of the Year. It's my personal Xbox Game of the Generation, Psychonauts 2. It was up for Game of the Year, and it was also the year that they were nominated for. Oh, no, sorry, they won actually as Publisher of the Year that year. And I think a lot of that was carried on that back as well, on top of Forza Horizon and everything else that came out there. Great. Okay, so why wouldn't you strike while the iron's hot? I understand artistic diversity. You want to do different things, but you just did that with Keeper.
How about this?
I don't know, man.
How about at the developer direct, they say new secret game, Kiln, and they start to show this pot and it's got a sword, and then Jack Black jumps in from the side, goes, "Get that pot out of my face!" And then it's like,
yeah, like he kicks the pot.
Yeah, and then it goes into like, just kidding, we're doing Brutal Legend 2.
See, Brutal
That's
Legend
how you
2,
do marketing.
we got the pitch. All right, we got the pitch. Alice Cooper should be in there. No, dude, Brooklyn, he's got to be in there as well. And of course, Decatron, he has to say,
you know,
wait a minute, you're telling me you
Steve
aren't Rob
Lukather.
Halford?
Yeah, I was going to ask the chat, who would the god of metal be besides Rob Halford? And Alice Cooper is a good.
Alice Cooper could be up there, yeah.
Good one.
I think he would be like a good, like he rules another kingdom or something. You know what I mean? With his top hat and he's got like the makeup on and his cane, like his stick and all that stuff. I think that'd be dope.
Or Michael Bolton, he'd be really good because he used to.
Michael Bolton has to be in the game. He has to be in the game. Yeah.
He would probably love that. Bruce Dickinson, yeah. He puts on his pants
Bruce
one leg at a
Dickinson,
time.
another one, yeah.
Just like the rest of us.
I mean, those will be boss battles. Like Bruce Dickinson's going to be a boss battle. Alice Cooper's going to be a boss battle. I think that Angus Young from AC/DC is going to be a boss battle. You're going to have to do like a guitar off with Angus. I think this is a great idea, and this is what this is what they should be doing. But instead, you're farting around with clay pots and walking lighthouses. What are we doing here?
I gotta put this in the timestamps. Our anti-Kiln moment of the show.
I'm just messing around. Listen, the game might be a lot of fun and it'll be a great time or whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, come on, man. You guys have these IPs in your hand. You should be doing you know what I mean? You should be working on those things. I don't know. Whatever. What the hell do we know?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know.
So anyways,
that's just games. The thing that I don't know. It just seems like a kind of a weak showing. I know that it'll be cool seeing Forza Horizon 6. I've said to a couple people, I really don't need to see Forza Horizon 6. Like, show me 45 seconds of it and I'm good. I don't need to look at it. I'll just play it. I want to see a couple of locations and then that's it. I'm
the
fine.
Thing is, though, Colt, like the fact that they're only showing these 4 games, they're showing 3 that we saw. And then, of course, the 4th game there being most likely Kiln. Do we get release dates for everything?
Yeah, and I think Developer Direct means they know the game's coming out that year. So
right.
Kind of reinforces that I think Fable is not going to squeak in at the very end of the year, but maybe it will. Maybe it's a December release. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. But you know what the thing is? I wanted to actually address something in the chat that some people were saying, talking about shadow drop this, shadow drop that. Listen, they ain't shadow dropping nothing that is of those consequences. Why? Because they're going multi-platform. So it doesn't make sense for them to shadow drop something and then put it on the PlayStation Store. They're going to advertise the living hell out of it so that PlayStation players buy it on top of the PC and Xbox ecosystem, right? So as a result, if this was just going to Game Pass, you might be able to get away with a shadow drop of something here and there, but you're not going to be shadow dropping these big games, not that they're going third party. Not a chance.
Well, Oblivion was kind of shadow dropped. Like it was announced at that thing, and then I think they said it's coming out in like a day or two.
Excuse me.
And yeah, and it was a remaster. Remake,
though, not a brand new.
It was a big moment, and it did really well.
It was a big moment.
I also agree with you. I don't think shadow dropping anything bigger than a small game is happening anymore. Like, it probably doesn't really work.
Thing in the chat, by the way.
What's that?
Sotnus said, by the hands down, the funniest thing in the chat tonight. He goes, Fable will be canceled at the developer direct.
There are people who are still saying that. Oh, I know that game's going to be canceled. Like, they're
Sotnus,
doing a deep
you almost made me choke on my water.
Yeah. It's the pessimistic people just striking again. Love it.
Lotus Espree's right. It's all about the software dollars, man. It's not about like appeasing anybody anymore. It's run by the bean counters now, baby. It ain't being run by philosophers anymore. There's no more philosophers in the video game industry, especially the Microsoft side. They're being run by the accountant. Okay, so I know get that straight.
It seems like 25 years ago, video games didn't even have an accountant doing anything other than I think you guys made money. But now they rule the day. They rule the conference room. We got BT Maverick. Thank you so much for the 5. Says, are you guys going to check PlayStation's first console exclusive in 2026? The highly rated game of 2026,
dude.
Code Violet.
Dude, I actually told some of the people in the community, like, Maggie, you think about trying it? I'm like, listen, man, I don't try nothing for $60, okay? Like, especially a game that's rated that badly. And I'm like, but if somehow it went down magically in price or magically just showed up because someone magically got it for me, I will absolutely stream the entire game. I will suffer through the entire do the entire game on my channel live, and we're all going to have a laugh doing it. Or we're going to cry ourselves to sleep in the fetal position. One of the two would happen, but I am not spending my own money on it. So if anybody wants to be a smart aleck and go out and buy it for me, I'll play the whole damn game on the channel.
Yeah, it's a 40 out of 100 on Metacritic.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'm not always the nicest guy, but the Team Kill Media developers on social media are lashing out and blocking people. And yeah, I mean, it sucks for them. But yeah, I thought if you made your Gooner game that everyone would buy it, but that game is having massive issues.
Dude, it would be so exciting to watch. It would be so funny to watch.
I think you could make some fun out of it for sure.
Dude, it would be hilarious.
Lotus is free. Ask anyone.
You're not invited, by the way. I didn't invite you.
I'm going to invite Blind King. Lotus is free has a question. Anyone who has the ROG Ally Xbox, let me know if Redfall is downloadable or just streaming. It should be absolutely downloadable in the Xbox app. You should be able to download the game.
Yeah,
and I think. Yes, it's first party, and I think it has an offline mode now since they updated a couple years ago. So, yes, you should be able to download the game and absolutely play. I think I installed Redfall on my old one, so yes, you should be able to.
Yeah.
KY Bob, thank you for being a channel member of 74 months, and KY Bob, thank you for everything you do. It is probably weekly that I thank you for sending me well, you can't see it. It's kind of off screen, but sending me the Fallout 76 Pip-Boy that is over here. That is an absolute beauty, especially since I spent so much time playing the game. You're awesome. He says, have you heard of Fallout Miami? It's an upcoming DLC size mod for Fallout 4 with an original setting. I've heard very little about it. It'll only be available on PC. Sounds kind of cool. Yeah. Miami.
Colteastwood doesn't even know. Listen, KY Bob, you're already enabling him. That's part of the sickness. So the fact that you're buying him Fallout paraphernalia, you're enabling his addiction. So we need to have a word with you as well. So I don't know.
Is this why I get mad when people talk smack about Fallout? Because I take it personally because it's ingrained in my right here.
It's not an addiction, man.
It's a way of life, bruh.
I can stop anytime I want. Sorry.
And I'll let me just reinstall it real quick. Game Seeker, thank you for the 2. It says, Mag, is Mark Cerny banning X in Canada?
Why would Mark Cerny ban it? But it would be kind of funny. Well, look at this.
Does he mean banning Twitter or whatever when he says X in Canada?
Yeah. No, they've in a single moment of clarity, Canada has said they are not banning Twitter in Canada. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would be. Oh, Mark Carney. He's saying Mark Carney.
Oh, that's my fault.
But
yes.
No, it's not your fault because it actually says Mark Cerny in the. He wrote Cerny, and I'm like, why would the creator of the PlayStation hardware ban Twitter? Oh, you're talking about Commie Carney? No, he's not. No, they're not banning it. No, but Mark Cerny would be funnier. It's like, hey, I don't run Canada. I just make PS5s and PS6s. However, I think I'm going to just go ahead and ban Twitter from Canada. How about that?
Make sure when you turn on your console, you enable PSSR for optimal.
We're just going to go ahead and put a little, we're going to put a little RAM right in there. Just slide it right in.
Just lick it and stick it. Little RAM.
Yeah, just
$800 here. $800 there. I like to put a little RAM on my nipples before I go out for the night.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like the most expensive jewelry you can wear is like 2 DDR5s. Yep.
When I get chafing in my pants in the summertime, I'd like to put my PS5 fans in there. Just kind of cool off the bits, if you know what I mean.
Little vapor
I just
lock
take
going
my-
to the.
I have a battery pack attached to my belt, and then I put my PS5 fans right in the inside of my pants. Just kind of keep
Oh,
me cool.
you sound like that character from Family Guy as well. Yeah,
Yeah, he basically is.
Yeah,
he is that guy.
he is that guy.
Hi,
brilliant,
Hi,
though.
Peter. How you doing?
Yeah,
Hi,
that
Peter.
guy. Yeah.
I'm gonna make NAC 3 with all my extra RAM.
Oh my God.
He goes, when I get chafing, I just took a stick of RAM right up in the Krakatoa. We got KY Bob. Thank you for the $5 super. Says, I was invited by an indie UK developer to playtest their new upcoming game, RTS, called Calyx. I streamed it on my channel yesterday. Check it out. Go check out KY Bob's channel. He's got Gamer Council podcast that's on Wednesdays. And go check him out. You can, if you see him in the chat, you can click his
I'd like
link.
to see that.
Yeah. I don't play a lot of RTSs, but if
I
he
still like
likes
to
it,
see it.
still want to see it.
Yeah. Still like to watch it. I like watching like games in bed. No, seriously. Like when I'm on my phone, like I'll check out gameplay of like something, and you know what I mean. Just like to kind of keep abreast of what's going on and whatever else is out there. I like checking out cool stuff like right before I go to sleep. That'd be kind of cool. I'll check it out.
My wife sent me a little reel that says, my favorite thing is 10 minutes before bed is to watch reels for 3 hours.
Yeah, of course. That's always how it works. And all of a sudden I look at the clock. I'm like, oh, it's 11:55. Cool.
It's like 2 in the morning, and here comes one from Mag.
3:27. Yeah, and then I'm sending like Instagram reels to Colt at 3:27 a.m. I realize I'm still in there. Yeah, I'm still in bed. I'm like, oh my God, man, you got to get up in like 3 hours. But anyways, that's life on the internet. What are you gonna do? And then of course I got to keep up with all the hate. You know what I mean? You got to keep up with the hate.
Oh,
Mag,
you do.
I hate you. Yeah, Mag, you suck. You know what I mean? I have to keep up with that too, right? So,
yeah, I like going through my held to be review comments on YouTube. You're a liar. You're Pinocchio. Yeah. So some of the other news that came out of this this great Jez Corden article. I made that video. It went out on Wednesday, and thank you everybody for supporting that video. I really enjoyed making it.
good.
The morning when Jez Corden put out this article, it's covering a lot of the stuff we're talking about. We'll talk about here in a minute. I'm like, I know about all this stuff. I have footage for this. I can make a video. And I get on my computer and nothing is working. I had this absolute mental breakdown. It was, because I wanted to make this video and I couldn't capture YouTube footage. I couldn't record on camera, which is super important. It wouldn't capture, like my PC just refused to capture or record anything. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I messaged Game Seeker. Game Seeker's super smart, knows what he's talking about, and he's like, did you try restarting it and shutting it down and turning it back on?
Did you check to see if your PC is plugged in, sir?
Did you turn on PSSR, sir? And
Did you wash your PC today?
Yeah.
I tried all this stuff. I was doing registry edit and all that, and I don't like doing that stuff. I especially don't want to break something that's like my lifeblood for my job and for YouTube. And we eventually just decided we were going to do a restore checkpoint. Something I haven't done on PC in 15 years. And it had one from like 4 days ago. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And it was like cranking forever. Like just like black screen with a little bubble going around like, you's gonna die. Yeah, I was freaking out. And then everything came back, but I'm glad
That's good.
I'm glad that.
That's good.
I
Good
also
video,
bought,
by the way, too.
Oh, thank you. I also bought a new
Yes.
mic cable that,
Oh, yeah, because, last week. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that has like a 90-degree angle so it doesn't get in the way. And the other one was shorting. I'd been using it for 8 years, so it worked well for me. All right, let's see. We got, did you check the HDMI? This is Ghostbusters. Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, it was something. Well, we were playing Jump Space the night before, and he's like, you should get the new NVIDIA driver. I'm like, I don't like to mess with those till I have to. And he goes, no, just do it. I go, yeah, I don't want something to break. And then that's when it broke. And he was like, he was sweating bullets. He's like, oh, it's all my fault. I'm like, shut up, dude. It's not your fault. He's such a good friend.
It was God. He was watching, and he's like, oh, you don't want it to break? Watch it. Hey, guys, come here. JC, come here, watch this.
JC.
And he pointed a finger right at it. Yeah, come here, guys, come here, watch this. Look at Colt.
Make him dance. He's got the puppeteer on me. I'm like, Oh no! I'm going to heck. Some of the news that came out from Jez's article, I was able to make. I've enjoyed making the video because Jez had a lot of information that we've talked about here on the show and in our videos. One of the things that came out was a new Wolfenstein game. Like Machine Games, is going to take break from not make another Indiana Jones game right away, which I think is good. And they're going to make another Wolfenstein game. I worry because the Wolfenstein games haven't sold really well, but I freaking love them. And the leap from New Order to New Colossus is amazing. Meg,
they're so good.
What can you say about this?
I am excited beyond words about it. And you know what? It's been a long time coming, and it's been something that I'm just like, you know what? I need this. Excuse me. So this is the selfish part of me. But I got to say, the games were great. The stories were unbelievably bizarre but wild, and it's such a good time. I'm not going to give any spoiler points, obviously, for people because people freak out even from like a 7-year-old game.
There's
like,
some
spoilers,
moments,
Meg. And I'm like, that was like 4 years before the pandemic. If you haven't played it now, you weren't going to play it. But anyways, I'm not going to spoil it. But either way, the story beats in the recent Wolfenstein games, excellent. The only Wolfenstein that I found to be subpar was the one with the daughters. You know, the one that took place in the 80s.
Yeah.
What the hell was it called? You know, the one that was like an expansion?
Youngblood. I talked about it earlier.
Youngbloods. Yes. Youngblood's not very good. That's the only one that I found to be subpar. But the actual Wolfenstein,
we don't count that one.
Games, incredible. They're just incredible. Great graphics, great gameplay, incredible gunplay. I'm all for it, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear more. Obviously, we're not going to hear about it or see anything for another couple of years, but that's fine. Go ahead and do your thing. Make a fantastic game. I'll be there day one, man, because the series is so exciting and so much fun. And they kind of left the last one, if I'm not mistaken, on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Not really a cliffhanger per se, but they certainly didn't close it off.
They want more.
Left it. Yeah, they left it open for more. And as a result of that, I'm like, well, are we going to get that conclusion to the story or whatever? Are we going to get this rounded out, like nice and, you know what I mean? Like tie it up in a little package with a nice little bow and call it a day? Like that would be nice.
Blazkowicz bow.
Yeah.
The last New Order came out in 2014 and New Colossus came out 3 years later in 2017. And
I played that on the series. Sorry, not series. My goodness, I played it on the Xbox One X. Remember that? When that came out.
Yeah, the New Colossus. Yeah, it was freaking.
And then New
Colossus
like
near
on the One X
near native
awesome.
4K with dynamic resolution. It ran 60 frames. Yeah, I was that purchase, that One X was worth every penny. And I always say this: that year, Meg, playing Assassin's Creed Origins and New Colossus. Like once I finished those, I'm like
Red Dead Redemption in 4K.
The next year, but just that end of the year when I played New Colossus and Assassin's Creed Origins, I love those so much. I'm like, that enjoyment paid for that $500 console. I don't even need to play anything else to justify that purchase. The games looked amazing on that thing.
They were awesome. Red Dead Redemption 2 at that time was the only one that actually had native 4K, didn't it not?
Yep, it did.
And it looked wonderful, yeah. It looked wonderful
really good.
on the 1X. It was
we got P-Lump.
Mine bricked on me.
Yours what?
Mine bricked on me. It died completely. I sold it for peanuts because what happened is remember though there was that they had the issue with it overheating and the metal inside or whatever kind of melted onto the motherboard. I brought it into a guy and he's like, it's unfixable. Because it actually had the liquid, the liquid metal had melted onto the motherboard and ruined everything. It was gone. He goes, I can't even do anything with it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, mine was.
But at least I got to play those games before that happened.
Yeah, mine was bulletproof. I should have read P-Lump's super chat.
Oh yeah, I was looking for P-Lump's super chat. I didn't see it, dude.
Yeah,
you found it?
I got it, and I should have. I was in the middle of saying something, and he wrote this because of what I said. He said, "Starfield." Thank you for the $5 super, P-Lump. Appreciate you. He says, Starfield is my second game of the generation. Of course, GTA 5 is the first, but stop the madness and play the damn theme song. Maybe I should grab, I'll have to grab your theme song and just have it ready when you send a super, but I appreciate you. But yeah, Starfield's great. Starfield's awesome. It does need work. But
see you, Richard.
I'll make a funny comment before I get off of Starfield's jock, is that I saw a video about No Man's Sky, how there are literally 1 billion planets in No Man's Sky. And everyone talks about how great No Man's Sky is, and there's 1 billion planets, and Starfield has 1,000. And I'm like, okay, apples to oranges. As far as I know, because I have like 50 hours of No Man's Sky, every planet has the same gravity coefficient, right? I'm pretty sure. Somebody write in the chat for me real quick, because I'm not going to talk about No Man's Sky for longer than 10 seconds. But as far as I know, the very few games that you play that have differing gravity pulls when you get on the different planets, and Starfield's one of them. You know, you will either walk normal or you can leap for hundreds of feet. So yeah, I don't know. I just think there's some things that Starfield does amazing that people don't give it credit for. But I'll say that for another day. All right. So the other thing was just Gordon said, boy, I'd love if they made Quake. And I saw a bunch of articles that Quake was on the menu, but it isn't. It's been a long time rumor, but there's a StarCraft game. I've never played StarCraft. I don't know if you have, Mag, but
no, I have not.
It's a real-time strategy. I don't really know that much about it. My confession is, StarCraft 1 and 2 came out during the time when I was going to college and making babies, and I just really didn't play video games at all. So I don't really know what StarCraft is, and when I've looked at it, it's like the isometric thing, and I'm like, it's not really my bag, especially these days. But apparently they're working on a third-person shooter, and the StarCraft characters are wearing like big, heavy power armor. So in my video, I used
Warhammer.
Yeah, in my video, I used a Warhammer clip because
I was going to say
it kind of illustrates that. I don't know. Do you know anything about StarCraft, Mag?
Nah,
help out the audience here?
Not my thing. I know about it. I mean, obviously, it's been around for years and years and years, but it's a PC thing. I was never really interested in it, and not because it was just on a PC. It's just I was just never interested in it. Either with Quake, like Quake didn't do anything for me either. So it's
you didn't play Quake 1 back in 95 or 96?
I did. I did. It was just like, to me, it was just like, oh, okay, it's kind of like Doom. I get it.
I didn't think it was as good as Doom. And I wasn't.
What? Sorry?
I didn't think that Quake 1 was as good as Doom. It looked better and you had more fluid movement, but I thought Doom was just so cool.
It seemed like a predecessor of sorts to Doom, or like a cousin of Doom. You know what I mean? Because it was sort of that vibe and that aesthetic. So I'm like looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. And I did play, like I said, I did play the first one, absolutely. But it was just not my thing. And there was even Quake Tournament came out at one point, or Unreal Tournament. Was that Unreal Tournament? Was it made by them as well?
Never played it, never enjoyed it.
Yeah, it really wasn't my thing. Yeah, not really my thing.
Yeah, I know. We know that StarCraft's really amazing.
Blizzard games really don't do much for me.
Yeah, and that's just a personal preference. I know that StarCraft is well loved. Yeah. You and I know that Counter-Strike is well loved, but it's not like our jam, right? And World of Warcraft is super well loved. Unreal Tournament. It's funny that these are some of the biggest games in history, and you and I have like never played them, never enjoyed them.
No, it's not.
But I don't trash talk them.
Quake 3 Arena. There it is. Thank you,
Yeah,
Alex.
Quake Arena was big.
That's what I was trying to think. It was Quake 3 Arena. I was getting mixed up with Unreal Tournament, I think.
They were kind of they were cousins, right? They took I think they took Unreal Tournament and modified it into Quake Arena. And I think I mean, that was kind of
the thing. It was a long time ago. What do you want from us?
But yeah, I mean, people want to see these franchises return, and it's good that Microsoft is trying to figure out what sticks and what doesn't. I mean, it means we'll get fewer Redfalls and Kilns and maybe some more big, I would love to see, when I say I don't really know much about StarCraft, and then they come out with a game that's more my jam, if it's a third-person action-adventure shooter, I'm like, okay, maybe this will get me super interested in the lore. I don't even need to go back and play the old ones. I can just say, hey, I get it. StarCraft's a cool universe, and I know what you guys are talking about now because I played a game that feels like something I can enjoy. Games are supposed to be that way, right? It's okay if something is something you like or not, I guess.
Well, it's not meant for everybody. You can't be universal. I mean, it's just like music. It's just like movies, TV shows. They don't make it for absolutely every person. They have a market for those things. They have an audience, specific audiences for specific things. So why would video games be any different? It's still an art form, just like music and movies and television shows and books, whatever else. It's not for everybody. And so that's totally fine. As long as people are happy doing it and it's successful, then it doesn't really matter. Like, not everything is going to be for me. That's for damn sure. There's a lot of games out there I won't even look at. And it's not because I don't want to look at them. I will look at them. As I was saying, I like to kind of like scan things while I'm in bed and be like, oh, no, not really. But I'll still watch the trailers and check things out and whatever. But I know things are not for me, and that's totally fine.
There's actually like 3 pretty big games that came out in 2025 that you and I didn't stick to all the way to the end. And we don't bring it up because, it might upset someone. But I think those games are great. Did I finish them? I didn't really feel like it. But
yeah.
I'm happy I played them. This other one, I think this would be an interesting one because I liked this game, but dang, did it definitely need more. Was Ninja Theory's Hellblade 2. And when you look from the outside, when you look over the fence, like, did Hellblade 2 make any money? Because nobody really played it. It didn't really chart. It scored pretty well. I think it got an 80 or an 81. I really enjoyed it, but I could tell you a lot of things it needed. Sounds like Ninja Theory was super profitable last year, and they have sidelined their Project Mara. Thank goodness. If I can be selfish, Project Mara was like their psychological thriller. It kind of puts you in the mind of what it's like to have a psychological disease or issues. And I'm like, this isn't really a game. And they were going to kind of adapt it into a game. Thank goodness they're sidelining it because according to Jez Corden, Ninja Theory is going to make, you're going to love this, Mag. They're going to make a Hellblade 3, but this time they're going to make it a video game, according to Jez Corden.
Okay.
Like lots of combat, lots of adventure, lots of freedom, something that was really missing from Hellblade 2, which is probably one of the best looking games. So you didn't stick the landing with Hellblade. Tell us.
No, I didn't even finish it. I got 3/4 through the game, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll get back to it like tomorrow. And tomorrow turned into 2 years. So I just never went back to it. I was just like, it did nothing for me. It was cool. It was a cool experience and whatever. It was great graphics and whatever else. The story was okay. It was kind of like a little bit more of the same from the first one or whatever. Yeah. And I was expecting a little more. However, we did already know that this wasn't going to be, as a lot of people thought it was going to be like an open world God of War game or something. I'm like, guys, that's not what you're getting.
I thought it was going to be
cerebral. It was going to be more of a cerebral experience, similar to the first one, whatever. Turned out it was even less of an actual like experience than the first one, where the first one had more combat, more it had more interaction with the characters that you were able to be able to walk around with, do things, crawl on ledges, do this and that. A lot of this was just walking and sort of experiencing what was happening. And that's totally cool if you're into it. And I'm like, all right, I get it. And then after about the 3/4 point, I'm like, okay, I guess I totally get it. And then that's it. I mean, we never heard from it again. Like 2 days later, it was like, that was it. I mean, no one talked about it. There were no more screenshots.
I reviewed it.
Media. It just disappeared like faster than it came out. So I was like, okay, well, whatever.
I was enamored with
it is.
The visuals were incredible. The combat felt like you were right there. The camera like moved in and so close. It was amazing. Chris R55 in the chat says, I still can't finish Hellblade 1. Me either. I got stuck twice.
Hellblade, I got 900 out of 1,000 achievements. I liked the first one. I really enjoyed the first one, and you know why I didn't get 1,000 on that one is because I missed one of those runes in one of the levels. You have to find those stone runes, and you have to go up to it and like stare at it for a minute.
Oh yeah, to get the dialogue.
And it would like queue up a dialogue scene or whatever. So I got 900 of 1,000 achievement points on that game when I played it, and I'm like, all right, awesome. And I'm like, I'm not going back to do it again because once I experienced it, I was done. So. I really enjoyed the first one. The second one didn't do anything for me. Then that's just a personal preference. Now you're saying that this is going to be more of an actual video game. Like you're saying like an action adventure.
It sounds like they're going to go back and kind of pull from Heavenly Sword or Enslaved Odyssey of the West. And
Heavenly
just make
Sword
this
was
game
a dope-ass game.
I've never played that one. But what they need to do is if they're going to continue Senua's story, they need to give you some open. I don't know if they need to make it open where you go out and do something and you come back and then you upgrade. I was so sure in Hellblade 2, you're wearing the same freaking outfit the whole game that you wore in Senua in Hellblade 1. And when I was trying to like put together the graphics of all the characters that are coming out, she's wearing the war paint in that one. That's like literally the last moment in the game. She puts on this war paint in a slightly different outfit. In fact, I think it's only the war paint. She's wearing the same leather outfit she wore in the first game all the way through Hellblade 2. And I thought you would like have different weapons or maybe upgrade them and just kind of gamify the game a little bit. But it sounds like they need to pivot to that because having a cinematic plate of cheese and wine doesn't really work for the majority of gamers. So
right. Now, the thing is, would you find it a little jarring, though, now? Like, now that you had 2 games in a certain style and genre, and then all of a sudden the third game is like a pretty heavy departure from those 2? Or do you think people will just ignore it and be like, no, this is awesome, I'm just going to go with it?
I think they'll just go with it because our expectations... You said it really well when you were opening up about what you thought Hellblade would be. People did have expectations that it might be kind of like a God of War game where you walk through different locations and you have this creative combat and different weaponry, or some sort of upgrade path where your character kind of progresses. And I totally expected that. And then when it came close to release and the only thing we got was a trailer of her talking to her reflection in a puddle of water in a cave, I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And I did like the game. I gave
you know
it
what?
I
think
I gave it an 8.
I would actually just be totally fine with it. Go with it. Gamify the hell out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make it into an Assassin's Creed. Make it into God of War. Make it into whatever. I don't know, whatever third party action RPGs or whatever. Do whatever. I'm all for it, man. And I think that actually would be really, really successful.
Have you played Enslaved Odyssey of the West or know much about it?
Enslaved? No.
It's Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Is Monkey. He's a really buff guy. He's kind of like a caveman type character. And in the game, you have a staff that can also snipe shoot. So you kind of have a shooting mechanic, and you have a bow staff of blocking and anyway, it has a ton of Uncharted style parkour. You jump and hop and do all this stuff, and then you get into cover, and you have like a Senua type character.
I'm watching it right now. It's pretty dope.
And she kind of guides you through, and you have her like unlock stuff or distract enemies or hack robots. So it's a total video game of a video game. And if all of a sudden Hellblade 3 has Senua talking more and you have more freedom to do things and you could change outfits, like people would welcome that with open arms, I think, because the artwork or the museum art piece of Hellblade 2 didn't resonate with most people, and I don't think a lot of people bought it. And everyone always says no one played it. No, they always say those things, but I can tell you from what I saw when that game came out and it just fizzled out, no one was playing it. It just didn't do very well, but thankfully Ninja Theory was making a ton of money for Xbox by helping consultant liaison the motion capture stuff. So yeah, I mean,
right.
Rambo says, yeah, Hellblade 3 open world, I would love it. Yeah, just semi-open world. Yeah, I would welcome it for sure.
The thing is, I see some of the comments, Blind King and Sotness in the chat are saying, Blind King says, he goes, why not make another game if they're going to change the formula? Because they're going to ride off the name of the IP. And that's why. Yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's about brand recognition, regardless of how the other 2 performed. Brand recognition works better than anything when it comes to a consumer, because they're going to look at it and see, oh, Hellblade 3. Oh, cool. It's a series or whatever else. Right. And that's why, because if you come up with a brand new name and just call it, I don't know, Crazy Lady Open RPG or whatever. Right. You can call it something like that. And people be like, what the hell is that? But if you have brand recognition, regardless of a departure in terms of game style, the brand recognition is what drives consumers forward. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And she's a good character.
Yeah, and I liked her character.
Cool world.
Yeah.
So why not just take it up 10 notches, snort 3 lines of coke, and then become like the wild, coked out version of Hellblade?
The coke guy left. The head of the studio, I can't remember his name. He left right when they were launching Hellblade 2, and I think he was a big push of this art piece. And so the team, this team also made Bleeding Edge, so they can absolutely make a video game of a video game that's not so artsy. But Heavenly Sword has a female character with like red paint, and she kind of looks like Senua. And then the main character that's with Andy Serkis and Enslaved, kind of looks like a Senyo style character. So they've been doing this for 20 years. So,
well, I was just watching the Enslaved gameplay just now, and it looks awesome. Like that.
Did you see the clip of him like
obviously
jumping around the broken, like the flying ship that's falling apart? That's like one of the
No,
early
he was
missions.
doing. He was jumping off of like a cliffs and stuff, like kind of jumping and like kind of traversing across cliffs and fighting dudes with a staff or something.
It's
and
pretty cool
a few
game.
people, and it looked pretty cool. I didn't realize that was 360 PS3 generation.
Yeah, and you can get it on
that's
PC for
a
like
while ago.
You can get it on PC for like $3, and it definitely looks old, but it's got a little bit of Uncharted. It's got, you're kind of like
it looks
Donatello. And then Andy Serkis is brilliant, bro, because that game came out in like, I don't know, 2009 maybe. And we talk about Lord of the Rings, like never aging. In 2009, I was like, oh yeah, he was just Gollum like the other day, even though it was like 8 years ago. So yeah, and Sean Labrie, shout out to Sean Labrie in the chat, real active right now. He was saying they also made Devil May Cry, and it was like their reboot Devil May Cry.
Right, they did do that.
I played that on PS Plus back in 2012, and I actually really liked it. And I never really played the Devil May Cry games, so there's something about Ninja Theory that is pretty good. Andy Serkis, he puts a clown. Andy Serkis is awesome. Yeah. CG Mr. Bean,
he's great.
Andy Serkis. Yeah, he's great.
That's why I'm not too worried about. I'm not overly worried about the hunt for Gollum if Andy Serkis is involved, because he does some great work, man.
He's also reading.
I actually liked him as Alfred too in the Batman.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's also doing the Silmarillion and the Lord of the Rings books as a voiceover for the audiobooks. So he's like,
oh, that's cool.
He's keyed in, man.
He's got a great voice too.
If I see one, I'll send it to you. There's like clips of him reading from the books.
I love that stuff. Yeah, I love that
whispering.
I love audiobooks too.
Yeah.
Audiobooks are great.
It's me, the broke boy. Thank you for the $5 super. Says Thursday is the Resident Evil showcase with exclusive new details on Resident Evil Requiem. This looks like an ad. He goes, tune in live at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. GMT, which is in London, for the broadcast, he says. This Thursday, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it. Otherwise, I would have live streamed it, but I'm going to be under anesthetic that day, so I'm not going to be in any condition to do anything on YouTube. So, I'm going to be a bit of a mess. So, I probably won't be back on until... Yeah.
Meg's finally getting that reduction that he sorely needed for many, many years.
Yes.
So
yes, it's true. I'm getting my head shrunk, ladies and gentlemen, right here. This head right here. I'm getting it shrunk to normal size.
It's
instead of this giant watermelon.
Epic proportions since you started gaining so many subscribers on YouTube. You can't even fit in the door.
It's so funny. Earlier, my cat walked in, and then one of them. It was Luna, the girl, Sphinx, and then people in the chat were like, "God damn it! Even his cats are bald." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're bald."
Yeah, it runs in the family.
But anyways, it
Laugh
sucks.
It up.
I'll be able to watch the whatever the hell they're doing for Resident Evil, but I won't be able to do a live reaction or anything to it because I will be out. So I'll be fine, but I'll be like out of commission till Friday
Or
night
if you're a little loopy, the live reaction might be a little something extra for us.
That's assuming I could sit up straight. If I could sit up straight, that'd be hilarious. I'd be like, "Hey man, is that
take your head to the chair?
Is it? All right, man. Look at that. Hey, Leon. How you doing, man?" And I'm trying to touch the screen with my bare hands. I'm like, "Hey, Leon, come here, man. I want to comb your hair." That's something ridiculous.
Leon.
Totally stoned out of my mind. Yeah.
Tell everybody where they can find you, Mag, so they can keep subscribed or go subscribe, and then we'll be ready to go. It's been a great show.
Well, you know what? It was a great show. We talked a lot. We did like 6 hours of podcasting in 2 hours, ladies.
I wasn't even here.
That's a rare.
It's great.
That was a rare feat, but we did it. Anyways, you can catch me on.
Hold on, sorry. But Ghostbuster says, turn that buzzing down, Colt. Your PC's breaking. Can you hear that buzzing?
No. I don't hear anything.
You can probably hear my heat pump. Yeah.
No.
Sorry to interrupt, but
silent as a mouse.
I was using a he goes, ha ha ha. Yeah, sorry. It was a whole thing. I have a really nice mic like Mag's, the Shure, but it had a 60 cycle hum and it was driving me crazy. So I switched back to my condenser mic, and I don't have that problem, but it picks up the sound of the heat pump. I was recording that video last week, and
Right.
I can hear the
Really?
because the heat pump compressors out there cranking. But I'm so sorry, Mag. Let me rewind. Mag, thank you so much. We had a great show. That was awesome. We'll
Yes.
edit that out and post. You are awesome. Everybody should subscribe to your channel. Tell everybody
I
where
would
they can
love
find
that.
you and what you're doing.
Yes, well, the channel's been growing quite a bit, so I'm super happy about that. We had crossed 3,000 subs about a week and a half ago. We're already past 3,100 and change now.
Oh,
so
geez.
it's climbing. Yeah, it's climbing quickly. More maggots have joined the fold. It's been
corpse.
wonderful. And listen, I'm telling you right now, 2026 is the year. This is the year we're gonna make it happen. So I am working my butt off. I'm making videos, long form videos, short videos. I'm doing everything, live streaming, podcasting, everything under the sun I could possibly think of doing. I'm doing it, and I've got 2 wonderful maggots out there. There's Kit and Arrow Nation. Shout out to them. I know they're in their chat tonight. I saw them, and they're running. I made them administrators on my Discord, and they are just wizards. They are PC wizards, those 2, and they're doing an absolutely incredible job there on the Discord. So they're doing a great job over there. All kinds of cool stuff happening. We're going to be doing more. I had to postpone my cooking video because I have to have a little bit of a medical procedure this week. So I had to kind of hold it off. I might be able to squeak it in tomorrow. Yeah, I know. The cooking video. Otherwise, last week I was supposed to do it. I couldn't get the stuff that I wanted market fresh, so I had to wait till this week. So I might be able to squeak it in tomorrow before my procedure. If I could do that, that's great. If not, then it's going to have to wait till the week after. And then in 3 weeks, I'm going to be doing a special cooking episode on the channel as well, in honor of the Super Bowl. So I'm going to be doing a whole Super Bowl special that week as well. And yeah, great times, man. But we're talking a lot of video games, doing a lot of great things over there. So go check it out if you can. I would really appreciate it. And I just copied the link here. I'm sure someone out there will put the link in the chat if anybody's interested. And yeah, there it is, man. What a great show. We had a great time, buddy.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know what's going on this week, but if I do work on this big project, it will convince you that this game is actually worth playing, and that the video will be that good. I'm excited about it. There's Fonz in the chat with the googly eyes to say hi to him as well. There's Mag's link. Thank you guys. It's been a really great show. We got to get out of here. Mag's got to call a couple hits on people because
I do have some business to attend to. Yes, and I'm actually going to try and later on I'm going to see if I can catch the last quarter of the football game. So we'll see how that goes. If my calls go in a timely manner. But either way.
Hey, best of luck to you. Thanks everybody for all your support. We'll see you next week for XNC 236. This is 235. We're signing out. Mag,
have yourself a wonderful evening, everybody. You guys are awesome. We love you.
we love you guys. See ya.